how does someone learn to negotiate with their own minds when things get hard, when they want to quit, when they're in pain, when they're struggling? How do we negotiate with our negative thoughts for our vision so that we don't give in to them?
So I talk about the battlefield that goes on in your mind. There's literally a battlefield that goes on in your mind all the time. And there's bombs that are exploding all the time. Fear, anxiety, I'm not good enough. And a lot of times you're making those bombs explode or somebody else is making those bombs explode, right? You have to take control of that space. You have to, too many times, the space between our ears, we don't have control over it. A lot of other people have set shop in it. They're like, they've like taken the most expensive real estate in the world and they've like literally sitting in it.
Ooh.
And they're not paying any rent.
Ooh. Yeah, they're making you pay the rent.
Yes.
They're sitting in it and making you pay.
And you're sitting in there, and those individuals, boy, they know exactly where all the bombs are, and they know which ones to push and which ones to push and how to get you emotional and how to do those things. And they also do it in a positive way also. Well, what's considered a positive way. You don't need to work that hard. You're good enough the way you are. You're already successful. All these different things, because what they're trying to do is, instead of being supportive, they're actually pulling you back, because now you're starting to create distance between you and them. And they don't want that. You got to make sure you control that battlefield that's going on in there. It's your space, it's your mind. You're going to have negative thoughts. You are. But you don't act on all your thoughts. And that's not, thinking positive is just not going to get it done. All right. You need to think positive, but you need to act on whatever you're thinking positive of. Just changing your thought is not going to change your action. It may change your perspective, but you still have to continue to push forward.
So when someone has a negative thought, how should they respond? Should they analyze it? Should they replace it with a more positive thought? Should they act on it and say, okay, I'm feeling tired and like I'm not enough today? Should they say, okay, when it happens, I actually do something to get out of it? I move my body, I call a friend, I work out. What should they do when a negative thought comes?
Also, I always look at it this way. What is causing that negative thought? Is it you, or is it somebody, or is it something that somebody else said about you? So just like you have something that triggers that negative thought, you have to have a trigger that gets you out of that negative thought. I have negative thoughts just like everybody else. All my clients did, and then they each had a trigger to get themselves out of it, and I could see it. For me, literally, when I see a negative thought come in, and if I'm walking, I will literally stop. But the important thing is, I come to a complete stop, because I don't want that thought to gain traction. I don't want that, so I need to address it at that moment. I need to address it at that moment. Noticing and being able to be aware of the mistakes, be aware of the negative thoughts, be aware of the negative emotions. That's on you. We're always looking for somebody else to point those things out to us. Well, you need to recognize those things before anybody else does.
Right.